Hi, I'm Josh from FinalScanPro. In this video, we're going to look at the Chicago referencing style. The Chicago style is most commonly used in the field of humanities. Chicago style uses a footnote system. Let's take a look at some examples. In this example, we're making a few claims about exercise and mental health. We've cited the sources by adding superscript numbers at the end of the sentence. Those numbers point to footnotes at the bottom of the page, where the full reference details are provided. One important thing to remember in Chicago style is that every citation gets its own number, even if you're citing the same source more than once. For example, here we've cited a paper by Emma Clark twice. Even though it's the same source, each citation has a different superscript number. So citation numbers 1 and 2 both point to the same work. In the footnotes, you give the full reference details the first time the source appears. This is called a full note. If you cite the same source again later, you don't need to repeat everything. A shortened version of the reference is enough. This is called a short note. One important thing to note is that reference numbers run consecutively throughout the entire document. You should never restart the numbering on a new page. For example, if you cite two sources on page 1 and label them 1 and 2, the very next citation on page 2 should be number 3, not number 1 again. Sometimes you may need to support a statement with multiple sources. In this case, don't add multiple citation numbers in the text. Instead, use one superscript number and combine all the sources into a single footnote. Within that footnote, separate each source using a semicolon. If you're using a direct word-for-word quote from a paper, you must place the text inside double quotation marks. You also need to include the page number in the footnote. Sometimes you will come across an idea or finding that's mentioned in another source, but you can't access the original material yourself. This is called a secondary reference. In this case, you cite the source you actually read, and you mention the original author in the text. For example, Patel's 2020 book discusses findings from a study by Green, published in 2012. You mention Green in the text, but since you didn't read Green's original study, only Patel's work appears in the reference list. It's important to remember that secondary referencing should only be used when the original text is genuinely unavailable. When you're citing AI tools like ChatGPT, it's generally best to treat them like an online source. When including ChatGPT in the reference list, the organization behind the tool, OpenAI, is treated as the author, and ChatGPT website is treated as an online source. If you're referring to a specific prompt, describe the prompt clearly in the reference. If available, include a shareable link as well. Some universities recommend citing ChatGPT as a personal communication instead. If that's the case, your in-text citation might look like this. In most cases, personal communications are not included in the reference list unless your institution specifically asks for it. Because guidance on citing AI tools can vary, always check your university's official referencing guidelines before submitting your work. You must include a bibliography or reference list at the end of your text. Here's an example of a bibliography formatted in Chicago style. This list should contain all the sources, arranged alphabetically by the author's last name. We highly recommend using reference management software to format your bibliography. It saves time and helps keep your references consistent. I hope you found the video useful. Finally, before submitting your work, don't forget to run it through FinalScanPro. Just drag and drop your document and let FinalScanPro check it for you. You'll receive a Turnitin style similarity report with all issues clearly highlighted and color-coded. You'll also get a revision report with suggestions to fix the issues quickly. Apply the recommended changes, recheck if needed, and you'll have a clean, original paper ready to submit. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please drop a message below. Bye for now.